Every author thinks their book is the best book in the world, and they want to win awards to show the world that their book is the best in the world. But how do you win awards? Well, today you're going to find out. Hi, I'm Dan Janal. I'm a book coach, developmental editor, and ghostwriter. And no matter where you are in the book writing process, I can help. Our guest today is Carol Abrahamson. She's been thinking about how experts and thought leaders can monetize their books and expertise since her first book brought her one-person business over $2 million in consulting revenues and over 100 of the country's largest corporations as clients. Her company, Executive Authors, has a consulting program that introduces experts and authors to 100 powerhouse marketing tactics, including book awards. She's now developing related workbooks, courses, and a 12-month mentoring mastermind group for bringing those chosen action items to life. You can reach her at carol@executiveauthors.com. Welcome, Carol. First of all, what are the benefits of winning a book award?
Well, a book award is a lot like bestseller status in many ways because of the status and recognition you receive. However, you do have to have a well-done book for a book award, which is not always true for bestseller status, I might add. But it's a classic way for recognition, status, and getting noticed. And after you receive an award, for the rest of your life, you and your book can both be labeled award-winning, even in your obituary, which is really cool.
You might not be there to see it, but you'll know that it is there, I guess. Okay, in general, what's the big picture lay of the land for book awards?
Well, book awarding programs, and I use programs and entities and organizations sort of interchangeably. They basically have 4 tasks. They announce their program and the rules that they're asking everybody to abide by. They collect money with submissions. They pay some judges to do the judging, and they announce some awards. 4 main activities. And it's theoretically a very easy business to start. If you have some connections to publishers and book PR firms, you can roll probably on just a few weeks worth of planning. But the key is, since reputation accrues with longevity, the key is being in it for the long run. Because most of the book awarding organizations that are considered legitimate are at least 5 or 6 years old, and some are 20 or 30 years old. So just to dive in to think you're going to might make some quick money is not the way to go in the industry for sure. However, it is a business without much transparency. It may be easy to start, and not having much transparency probably also adds to its being easy to start because people aren't looking over your shoulder what you're doing. Not very many programs tell you anything about how many books were submitted in an annual cycle that then led to their 30, 40, or 50 awards. Almost none of them reveal anything about their judges, the qualifications, much less names and who they actually are. And I've never seen one reveal the judges' scoring system. So it's sort of a black box system that's definitely mysterious. Now, I'm not suggesting anything nefarious here or that anybody's manipulating anything, but just it comes with the territory, though, that a lot of your questions about the awards you might want to submit your book to will probably never be answered. It's like, close your eyes and dive in. So other lay of the land elements. There are about 150 awarding organizations that I've identified. I don't pretend to know them all, but I've been tracking them for almost a decade and noting every single one I learn about. So my list may be the largest list out there. I haven't found a larger one yet. Most of them grant awards annually. So it's an annual program with annual deadlines. Most programs have between 50 and 100 categories, which means they're recognizing or giving awards to 50 to 100 books if they're doing 1 book per category. Some programs will do 2 awards, a first and a second, gold, silver, winner and finalist kind of designations. And of course, some of them will have tying awards where they would give a couple of books list a couple of books as co-winners in a category if the judges' scoring reflected that, and they couldn't get it down to a single winner. The approximate cost to submit your book for an award is about $100 per book per category. And many of the programs, well, most of the programs actually encourage you to submit your book to multiple categories if you'd like to, because of course that enhances their revenues. It also enhances increases the amount of judging work needed doing, but so that's very common that they may even offer a discount for your book going into a second or even a third category on their category list. Some do require an ISBN to all the books submitted, but not all of them do. Almost all accept PDFs as the submission. Some no longer accept print books at all. And in the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen a lot of them move into this world because it makes their processing and their judging so much easier to be working with digital books instead of physical ones. And of course, the authors like that too. A decade ago, to submit to most awards, you had to send 4 or 6 or 7 copies of your book to submit for an award because that's what the judges needed to work with. And so we've had a lot of streamlining in recent years. That's wonderful for both sides of the equation. Most accept books written in the last 2 to 3 years, but many also have what they call legacy awards for older books. So your book does not have to be new, newly released, new edition, in order to work in the award-winning world. Some include a cash prize, not many, but I found about a dozen programs of my 150 that have some cash for the top winners. And some also give their winners a published book review because they're fundamentally in the book review business, and their award giving work is almost like a side hustle for them. A very few these days have in-person celebrations and photo ops. And again, 20 years ago, everybody had an annual dinner, an annual event, typically in New York or LA, with lots of photo op publicity coming out of it. But that disappeared a long time before COVID, and I don't see it coming back at all. I can list on one hand the ones I know of that have in-person celebrations. Now, anybody can submit a book for an award. Anybody. Your mom could submit your book. Your kid could submit your book. But in most cases, it's either the author or the publisher. And in my experience, the award granting organizations are really indifferent on that score. So you've got a lot of flexibility. And by the way, just in terms of how do I know all of this, I released 5 books last October for my book type family of books, and already they have won 6 national awards. I submitted to 8; they've won 6. Plus, I was a former judge at one of the popular book award organizations over a decade ago. So those are the 2 reasons that are not hit on in my bio that I kind of have this inside view that I'm sharing with you today.
Okay, Carol, lot to dig in there. A couple of questions I have for you. First of all, there are so many companies offering awards, and some are legit and some aren't. How can we separate the good from the bad? I know you said some have been in business for 5 years. That's one good litmus test. But can you tell us like who the gold standard companies are that issue awards? Like we're saying, like, oh, I got a Ben Franklin award, or I got a Stevie award, that really perk up people's ears. They say, okay, we know that one is really prestigious.
You know, I think it's really genre specific, has been my experience, because the awards not only cover the nonfiction world, which we care most about, but also fiction, and have just as many fiction categories. And so it really is genre specific. And if you're looking for a prestigious award, the best I can recommend, and of course that shifts too, probably every few years, maybe a newcomer might suddenly shine. but checking in with the industry insiders in your genre, the publishers that specialize in it, the book PR firms, they'll be in tune with who the most prestigious ones are at the moment. But it is a little bit of a moving target, since we've recently had so many in a decade move from no self-published, no PDFs, to where we are now, where it's hugely dominated by self-published, because that's the volume of what's new at Amazon every year and in the bookstore world every year. In terms of the content, the titles, the books that are coming out in book format, but also in the PDF format. At the moment, audiobooks are not part of the game at all, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next decade if we see a book award ecosystem forming for the audiobook world. So I don't know how to consider an illegitimate award. I mean, I submitted my 5 books. The 8 programs I decided to submit by had everything to do with categories and dates, and and a little bit to do with their prior winners. That is a way to maybe do a skim or a scan of who they've given awards to. They all publicize previous year's awards as part of their reputation building. And so that's a way to double check which category your book might best fit in. And it's also a way to look into, well, what kind of books are they giving awards to? But even then, you only see the cover on their award list. So if you don't know the book in person, you don't know if it's a very good book at all, or whether any judge ever really read the whole thing before giving a given book an award. The black box quality of this world is still a little bit head scratching.
Interesting. Now, let's say you've won an award. What can you do to publicize that award and to market that award so you can sell more books, get more speaking and more coaching and consulting business?
Well, almost all of the award giving organizations sell stickers to the winners for your books, for your websites. Plus, of course, you can add it to your bio and the end of press releases. In all the ways that you're promoting yourself, it adds award winning. You may not want to mention the award in all cases, but I do see many Amazon sales pages that do itemize the awards or the award or awards that a given book has already won as part of that description drop down that's on the Amazon sales page. So any place that you are promoting yourself and your book, you can add award winning and then specify where you wish, who the award came from. On my website, I have a button called feedback that not only includes blurbs for my books and testimonials from clients, but it also itemizes the 6 awards I've won and links to the award lists. So it's kind of, I didn't buy stickers because I'm pretty much in a digital world more often than not, and just thought, well, I didn't want to have a website full of stickers as I keep winning awards, as I hope I will be able to do. We'll see. Time will tell. So I just popped it into a web page on a list. So be creative with all the places that you're already promoting yourself in your book, and certainly add the phrase award winning and consider specifying who you got the award from, and maybe maybe it makes sense too in the context of what category you won your award in, which is something I put on my webpage. Being in the writing and publishing category, which is typically where I am, I think says more than just being in a general nonfiction category. It says more, I think, about my book. And yet not everybody had a writing and publishing category. So I couldn't always find that category to be submitting to when I was making my decisions about which 8 awards I would go for last fall.
Okay. I'm curious, the application process itself, is is it a long form, or it's just simply, name, address, name of book, category, and here's my money and run with it? Do you supply any marketing materials or reviews or any other kind of anything that would influence the judges or give them more background about the book or you?
Rarely. It's a very simple process in most cases. Where yes, if you have the money and you have the book file to upload the PDF, and in some cases they may ask you. I had one that had me answer an essay question, and so I went back to their purpose, and I ended up winning an award from them. I went back to their purpose, which was a change the world. We want to highlight books that change the world for people. So I made sure that when I answered their essay question, I had that phrase "change the world" in there, and voila, I got an award. I don't know if everybody does that, but it was how I tried to stack the dominoes in the right order on my behalf. But in most cases, it's just filling out author name, the basics of the book, 5-6 quick factual lines of data, and then pay first and submit your book, and then you get the receipt and the confirmation of receipt, and then you just watch for the announcement date to come and go, and typically you'll get an email directing you to the winners list on the announcement date. In some cases, I got a separate email the night before saying, "This isn't known yet, but keep it to yourself for a day, but you're on our list. It's going to come out tomorrow. You won." But in other cases, the awards I won, all I got was a standard email sent to everyone who submitted, just saying, "Here's our list of this year's winners. Congratulations to all." And so it's a pretty simple process.
It sounds like it. Thank you, Carol. This is great information. Tell us, who is your best client and how can they get in touch with you?
Well, authors who want a reputational boost from book awards is probably my ideal client. I have a blog post that lists all this information that's at executiveauthors.com. All of these details are there, and some more about the process. And then I have executiveauthors.com/book awards opt-in is a list of 33 award-winning programs that I've given you links to, names for, and the number of categories that each has. And those 33 together recognize 2,200 books every year. So that's a free opt-in you can go for at executiveauthors.com.
Great. Thank you very much, Carol. Thanks everyone for listening. We have more than 200 episodes of how you can write your book in a flash on our YouTube channel. Check them out.